Well, that's what it looks like. Oh, it doesn't even smell good. All right, I have all the pieces here for the back rack. This is the plate to put my flashing light on. This is going to mount up here on the center of the back rack. I have this on my other truck. Something new that I don't think they had when I bought my first back rack. These are light brackets here. So they're designed to mount right here on the side, and then you can put your additional lighting up here. I made something work on my last truck, but when I saw these brackets here, I thought, hell, you know, why not? I think they were $30, and they're kind of made to go on there, so I got that. And then these are the plates to mount on the truck itself. This is going to go on the rail of the truck like that. And then that's going to bolt in there, and then the rack is going to sit down inside of there with the holes here to bolt it up. First thing I've got to do, the bed rails are coming off. My daughter never did like these bed rails. They came with the truck. It is what it is. I'm hoping I can leave the, ooh, no, I probably can't leave the cover on. All right, I guess the bed cover is going to have to come off. Okay, let's get to that. All right, does anybody know how that pops out of there? I'm guessing it's just a piece of rubber that fits tight in that hole. I don't know. Uh-oh, it fell in the hole. There we go. It looks like what it does is this piece of metal goes under there, and then when you screw it up, it just swells this piece of rubber up to hold it tight inside of there. All right, looks like I do have to take this bed cover off. I thought, all right, so this plate sits on top of here like this, and then there's a bolt that drops down through that hole, goes into here, and there's a mechanism. Where's this package of bolts? Right here. This bolt here is going to slip down in here. There's a hole on the inside there to attach this bolt to the frame, and then comes up through here. And then that sits on top of there like that. This is adjustable, this part here. I need 2 inches, about 2 inches for that rack to sit on here, and I don't think I can adjust this forward anymore to give me that 2 inches. That's unfortunate. because I could, I think, take this rail and move it over enough that the lip of this would sit inside of there without an issue. But this is the issue here. I just don't have enough room. Okay, these brackets have to be attached to the rack itself before you mount it up there, because the bolt has to come through the backside. There's a carriage bolt. I was just checking to see, there's 2 holes in the rack itself, but for this application, I'm using the outer hole on each end. So now I've got to take the cover rail off of that side and get that bracket mounted on there. I don't think I'm going to be able to mount that back up there, but I'll see. Once I put the rack on here, I'll see what I can do. I think before I tighten everything up, I'm going to try putting this bed cover back on. Well, okay, it looks like it might work. I haven't bolted the cover back on, but it is sitting up there okay. I've put this in the middle hole to shove that bracket closer to the cab. I've got a hair. I can't get my finger through there, but this is not touching the cab. Now, the cab is going to move a little bit, or the bed is going to move a little bit, I guess, going down the road. So I'll have to keep an eye on that to see if it's going to hit against the cab. It has fit up here pretty nicely. Hey, I think it's going to work. So the only thing I've got to do is this strap that runs up underneath of here. You pull this strap around. That other strap I've got to reroute, but that's not a problem, I don't think. So, hey, I think that's good. Okay, it took me about 24 minutes, maybe 24 and a half minutes to get all of that bolted back up there and get it right, but it looks like it's going to work as long as nothing is going to hit here on the cab. That's what I'll have to keep an eye on. Yeah, all right, that's good that I'm able to keep the cover on there, because I do like that cover. All right, now I've got light brackets to put on. I've got the light bracket on for the flashing light in the center. So now I've got these brackets here that mount on the sides here to put another light on to shine back, like I have on my other truck. Well, online, it looked like these brackets were pretty simple to put on. Hole is already in here. I was led to believe there was already a hole in the back rack. You just slip the bolt through and wham, bam, thank you, man, you're done. Well, no, that's not the case here. So they're supposed to mount up like that. the pictures online showed a hole already drilled through here. No, that's not the case. They do have a hole right here. I can pop this plastic piece out, but that hole doesn't go all the way through. And then that will sit these up a little too far. So I'm thinking I can drill that hole all the way through, put that bracket on there like that, and then mount my lights to this. Yeah, I'm going to go down and look at the other truck, and I know I have an idea of what I did down there. I made up some brackets myself, but I thought this was going to be the easier way to do this, but maybe not. Now, I do think the difference in this back rack compared to the one on my other truck is they've put plastic caps on here and a plastic cap there. So I think I can run my wires for the flashing light here, and then these pod lights I'm going to put on here, maybe run the wires down through here, and then there's another hole on the bottom that I can run those wires out and then down behind the cab and up to my engine compartment where I have that auxiliary switch wires. So again, I've got to go down to my other truck and see how I did that one down there. Get an idea of what I did over there. Well, this is the way I mounted these lights on this older truck. There is no cap on here, but hey, they did have a plastic cap here. I didn't realize that. So looks like I ran my wire across here and I drilled a hole here. Why did I do that and not take that plastic piece off and run that wire down through there? That's interesting. And then, yeah, that wire comes out here in that bottom hole. But I drilled a hole. Okay, so I will look at running my wires. Although if I put that bracket on here, I cannot run the wire through that hole. All right, I got to think about this one a little bit. You know, I think I'm going to go with what works, and that is to use one of these square U-bolts, just like I did on the other truck, and mount that light right there. Pop this open and run the wires through this hole rather than drilling another hole underneath. And then that kind of keeps it flush here versus using this bracket. That light would mount up taller like that, and I think it's just going to stick out like a sore light. I think this is what I'm going with. I only have one of these square bolts here, but I think my local hardware store has some more of these, so I think I'll go get another one of those. And so then all I have to do is drill a hole through there in order to mount that bracket on there. So I'll go get some black paint. I'll paint these up black, drill my hole there. Yeah, that's good. Hey, speaking of your local hardware store, I'm a sucker for sweets, and I saw this in there today. Lenny and Larry's, the complete cookie snack. And I like chocolate, but here's what I'm concerned about right here. Plant-based proteins. It can't be good, but hey, it's double chocolate, right? The complete, oh heck, I didn't read the back. The complete package. Protein, fiber, non-GMO, project verified, no soy, no dairy, no egg, vegan, kosher, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, zero sugar alcohols, sustainable palm oil. I should have read the complete package before I bought it. Something tells me this is not going to be good. A plant-based cookie. How can you have a plant-based cookie that's going to be good? You know, if it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup, Well, that's what it looks like. Oh, it doesn't even smell good. Well, Lenny and Larry's, it's not that bad. I don't think I'll buy it again. It kills hunger, but it doesn't quite satisfy my need for sweetness. Yeah. Plant-based. You know, I bought a stock, I think it's been about 2 years ago, Beyond Meat. No, it's been longer than that. Beyond Meat. I had a friend that bought some of the Beyond Meat burgers and gave them a try. They really weren't that bad. And then Burger King was doing a whole big deal with Beyond Meat to do their Impossible Burger. I thought, so at the time, it looked like a great investment. I said, yes, I'm buying Beyond Meat. So I jumped in, I bought Beyond Meat, I don't know, maybe at $100 a share. Man, it zoomed up to almost $200 a share. I thought, man, this is great. I am in the money. Do you think I would sell? No. Guess where Beyond Meat is today? $12.48 a share. Guess who still owns common stock in Beyond Meat? Yep, me. I'm riding it right to the bottom. So this kind of reminds me of that plant-based cookie. It's just not there. Give me the high fructose corn syrup any day of the week. Do you really want to live to be 100 years old eating this crap? Or would you rather die at 60 years old eating the good stuff? I think I would rather die at 60 years old eating the good stuff than extend my life another 40 years eating crap. All right, back to the project at hand here. I need to go get some square bolts and some wiring as well. I still don't have the light to go on here. I have one light, but I think it's too big for the truck. I've got this light here, but originally I was going to put that on my skid steer, but I think I'm going to go with this light on the skid steer, and then I think I'll buy another similar low profile light, similar to what I have on the other truck for this truck. This one just is too big for the truck. It's gonna kind of stick out like a big orange light, I believe. All right, what I'm trying to do now is I found some wire to hook the lights up on the bracket. I'm trying to fish that wire through the holes that are already here, through here, up here, and then I'll come out of this hole here. This bar goes all the way across to here. So then there's a hole right inside of there, goes down here. So I've put one wire across here to the bottom of the hole. Another wire I fished down through there, got through the hole to hook onto this wire. And now I'm going to try to pull everything up and through. Got the electrical wire taped to the steel wire. Let's see if that works. The hole on the inside is, I don't know, maybe 3/8. It's not it might be a 1/2 inch hole, but I doubt it. So trying to get everything to bend around and get through that hole is going to be a problem, but let's give it a shot. Oh, the tape slipped off of there. All right, let's see what happens this time. All right, I think I'm going to have to try a different plan here. The problem is getting this to bend up around into that hole. So I think if I take this bolt out, lift the rack out of the bracket, there's another hole at the bottom here that I can fish everything through there first and then across and out of that hole. So I'll try that. Okay, there wasn't another hole there. Just this hole where the bolt is, but maybe since I'm gonna be closer to that bend, I can feed it up in there. Let's see what happens here. Aha! Look at that. Look at that. All right, got it. That's one wire. Let me attach the other wire. Okay, maybe that was the easy part. Now, got to get all these wires, the other end, through there and through this other hole on the front side. There we go. All right, that took a little longer than it should have. Now, same thing on this side. So I've got two different wires here. One set of wires for the LED light here. The other wire that will run across to this light here. Now on this side, ideally for this LED light, I would like to do the same thing, run it down, but then run it all the way across here. I don't know if that's possible. Well, we don't know till we try. I'm not going to let you watch all of that because it's going to get a bit boring, but I'll come back on the other side and let's see if that's what I can accomplish. Well, I've got that wire. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that one is running down there all the way across here and back out. So I've just got to determine how I'm going to connect everything. So I'm not going to cut that wire yet until I determine lengths and on where the connection is going to be. So we're getting closer here. Hey, I've got some bed rails for sale. What do you want to give me for them? Hopefully by the time you see the video, those will be sold. Sexy Rooster was over here. He said, hey, I'm going to put them on Facebook Marketplace. So he took some pictures of them. So we'll see if he's able to sell them for me. All right. I'm at a stopping point here. I want to get the right light to go on the top of there, and then I'll finish wiring it up. In the meantime, I've got a load of wood pellets to deliver. Hey, it's for some reason it's getting cold and people want heat and they want wood pellets now. Go figure. So I'm going to throw a ton of wood pellets on the truck here and take those out and get them delivered. Well, would you look at that? I've got lights. Yes, so I did find one of these locally. It was not at my local hardware store. I had to go a little bit further, but I found one of those. Hey, but the pod lights here, my local hardware store did have those, so I was able to pick up a set of those. I don't have the wiring complete. I'm just making sure they work before I finalize everything. But on the pod lights here, I just got a square U-bolt here and attach these lights on just like I did with the other truck. Everything is wired up in there, wire running all the way through the tube here and coming out there. Same thing on this side here. Oops, I know why that one stopped. My ground is not connected properly. Just ran the wire back underneath of there, along the front here, up through there. Yeah, finally. Now the only part I have left I've got to get these wires run down behind the cab, under the frame there, and back up, and then connect everything up here. But I just wanted to make sure all of my connections were good up until this point here. So that's all I got left to do, and I think my lights will be done. I've got some paint here, right here, that I've got to paint my plywood, cut that in half. Actually, it's a little more than half, so I've got 2 pieces of plywood here. I think I've got to cut them about 30 inches. I need 2 30-inch wide pieces. And that is for the salt spreader that goes on this truck. A cover for the salt spreader. So the reason they have to be 30 inches, when I roll those things back around, they've got to be long enough to get across the side, so when they're filling those spreaders with salt, that salt rolls off the side. It doesn't come down and hit the side of the truck here, but long enough, that 30 inches, so it goes on down and hits the ground without hitting the side of the truck. So that's the next step of this project, is to get those pieces cut, get them painted up, and put on the spreader. I think I've got all of the parts for that. Yep, got all of my hinges here and everything I need to make that happen. All right, slowly but surely, this is getting done. Okay, I think I'm going to wind this video up. I'm going to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Hopefully I can get this uploaded by Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving Day. Hope everybody enjoys the turkey. I did pick up some fresh oysters this morning, so I will have fried oysters for Thanksgiving. Yes, my brother went out and caught some oysters and shucked a pint out for me, so that's going to be great. Okay. Thanks for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'm going to say, see ya.